college for everyone, wouldn't that be nice? It's what every student dreams of, but it inevitably won't work. As idealistic as free college may appear, there are pressing reasons for why it ultimately would fail. And this idea would actually cause deleterious effects on our society and our economy. These effects, such as shifts costs from students to taxpayers, inevitably devalues education, and it lessens the motivation in students. Many people hear free college and think no more than to let's make this happen. But when you really look at all the other factors that come along with it, you realize how ineffective it would actually be in the long term. It may help students short term, but it will have lasting effects on society and our economy. People hear free college, but who's ultimately going to reap the benefits? Creating this idea of free college doesn't necessarily delete all costs, rather it just shifts the cost from students to taxpayers. College still needs to be funded by someone. According to US News, it will cost about $70 billion per year, which is more than twice what the federal government pays for Pell Grants, and much of that money would provide a free education to those families who can already afford it. This gives the wealthy more tax breaks and money breaks that they don't necessarily need and puts more burdens on the taxpayers. With this proposal, there will inevitably be accumulating attendance, which will ultimately raise the taxes, which doesn't need to be done. According to Politistatic, 70% of Americans don't have college degrees. So how do we supply all that would attend now? Right now, we are only attending for 30% of Americans, so now we will have to build more universities and infrastructures to fulfill the growing demand. Analogous to the rise of cell phone usage in the 21st century, if higher education were to become the new standard like cell phones, it would consequently devalue education. Everyone will now have to get one. It will become the complete social norm. It won't be anything special anymore. The only thing that will set you apart will be going further and further onto higher educations, such as grad school and whatnot. That will be the only thing that will set you apart from everyone else. Now there will be no excuses of not going to college without money being the main reason. It will just be pure laziness or motivation to not go. Despite the overwhelming evidence of why this proposal would be detrimental to our society, the ultimate decrease in motivation in the students would be the largest and most devastating impact of this idea. Paying for your own goods and services makes you appreciate things much more. Working harder knowing you have to earn it, such as when I was in high school, I knew I had to work to get to all A's and B's so I could earn my Hope Scholarship just to go to school so I could pay for it. Without that, I wouldn't have been able to get where I am, and I would have no opportunity to get to college. If I didn't have to pay for college, then I would not try as hard as I did in high school, and it wouldn't be nearly as beneficial or anything. I appreciate it a lot less when it's more like a high school degree, where you just go to school and you just sit and get through your classes. If you're not paying for it, your education, then it doesn't really feel like anything. According to Washington University Political Review, only 19% of full-time students at public universities earn a bachelor degree in 4 years, which means more people, they're going to college, but they're not getting through and getting their degree. So therefore, we would just be paying for kids to go and have fun, but they're not even coming out with the degree or education or skill level that they really need to get through to college. Therefore, I believe that there are better ways to go about this approach, such as we could lower the overall cost of tuition, but which could definitely help because we are leaving the kids more in debt for the rest of their lives. And another option would be free community college, which has been brought up. It could be effective, but then everyone would end up taking this route, and the quality of education you get from a community college does not even compare to what you would get from a university. Therefore, you can tell that these effects lead to detrimental effects to our society and the economy. It is simply not fair to shift costs from students to working taxpayers who are just trying to put food on their table. It will also harm students' learning motivations. It won't be there anymore, and it devalues the privileged higher education that we have today. We must consider all these factors before taking any further steps in making this major reform in our society.